Folks, we are live. Welcome to the Random Party Generator with your assortment of I tongue tied myself. There goes failure right away. Your randomly generated hosts. Oh my God, we've already got 13 people viewing. We haven't even gotten our feet underneath us yet. It's like people care. Um, Folks, I am Eric Tenkar, your bartender in the OSR, and our panel as it stands right now. Who knows? Other randos might come in and join us. We have none other than Rob Conley, Mr. Bat in the Attic.
Yep.
We have Flint Fireforge. Flint, don't you have? Aren't you getting some things released recently?
Some of my zines. Yeah, I just had my
Yeah.
1 year anniversary of releasing my zines, so I got 12 of those in the can, and I'm working on a sandbox adventure at the moment.
You see, and of course, uh, now that we can see him, the one and only Chubby Funster.
Yeah, I actually just noticed I didn't add my channels when I joined, so I'm going to drop for a second and come back in so it'll stream to Twitter, but happy to be here.
Are you sure you can restream? Because I think once the stream is started, can you stream? Because I had difficulty last time doing that.
We're about to find out live.
All right.
Okay.
He's going to go and then drop back in. So we have a very lively chat going on. I am duly impressed.
They're talking about graph paper, which is even more impressive that the chat is on fire about graph paper.
You know, when I first started gaming, graph paper was worth its weight in gold. There we go. Did it work for you?
It made me log in, and I'm trying to connect. I connected it, and then I don't know if it's... Yeah, it's going now. Yeah, there we go.
There we go.
I really just wanted to be on the other side of Flint. That was the whole
Oh,
ruse.
well, you know, I got Flint holding me up and you're holding up Rob. It's a beautiful thing. My heart is well verklempt. I don't know what to say. So, and folks, just so you know, our show prep is minimal. So if you want to know what it's like to run a game as an improv DM, this is the live stream because this is literally a bunch of random tables with us going off in random directions. But I did notice that Mike Merles has made his stamp on the new D&D. Going to Chaosium, he is bringing Cthulhu to 5e.
Now, is he releasing it or Chaosium is?
Chaosium is releasing it.
I got nothing against Mike Merles. I'm just disappointed to see somebody who has the cred and the ability to write independently and do stuff on his own and release a product that I bet he could probably make more money doing it that way. But I just don't work for the man. Do your own thing. You're a big guy. He could do it. He was spending months where he was posting his ideas about the game he would write, about all this stuff. I was thinking there was going to be like when Monty Cook just kind of started doing things on his own. Oh well.
Well, it's Cthulhu by Torchlight, and I don't know. I mean, obviously, right now apparently it's only digital, so you can only get it on the D&D Beyond world of things. So I don't.
How are you getting Cthulhu on D&D Beyond?
Because it's licensed by Chaosium.
Oh,
Chaosium
wow.
is putting it up there on D&D Beyond allows third-party publishers, and Chaosium has become one of those, I guess, third-party publishers. It shouldn't be a surprise because Mike Merles is there. Maybe we'll get Glorantha for 5e, and then we can have slavery back in the 5e.
The best Glorantha is there's this cheap fucking game. It is so cheap. It's like $5. Called Ride the Wind or something like that. I pull up my Steam. I can pull it. Six Ages, and then the subtitle is like Ride the Wind. And there's a Six Ages too, and they are really good storytelling games where you kind of follow along and make decisions, and you run your little tribe, your little Glorantha tribe, and like you can raid other tribes, and you have all these clan elders, and the artwork is fantastic. The art is incredible. It's worth the entry price alone, and the storytelling, man, it sells it better than anybody I've ever seen talk about Glorantha. I mean, it is such a great. They should be putting that front and center everywhere they go.
I think they have it on a case by case basis because there's 34 products um, on their partner. They call it partners,
Okay.
and some of them they all appear to be 5e related. Lord of the Rings role playing is up there from Free League,
Okay.
but the other ones are like Dungeons of Drakkenheim,
Grim is
Tal'Dorei,
up there.
Tal'Dorei Reborn, Grim
Well,
Hollow Player Pack.
Now that you've gotten this Kickstarter successfully, Rob, you could release Rob Conley's version of Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth, whatever, and just call it something else.
Oh, you're behind the program. Yeah, it's going to be the Majestic Fantasy RPG.
Is it going to be like the way, because you talk about what was it, with Burp all the time, man? You should like. Are you bringing in that kind of stuff?
GURPS?
Merp, the Middle Earth. Remember the old one?
Yeah, from Iron Crown.
Yeah.
Role playing.
Well, I mean, the answer to your question is not going to be like GURP or like Lord of the Rings role playing because I don't run Middle Earth. I got my own take on things.
Rob, you talk about Middle Earth more than anybody I know.
Oh, except for maybe.
Yeah, but it's somebody else's IP, so I don't get to play with it. I already got burned once. Should I do it again, Greg? No, what I did was I do have a 5e rule set right here.
Well, then, yeah, bring it. I'm saying, like, bring out your Middle Earth ideas, dude.
Bring it to the table, Janet. Bring it to the table. I see this.
I want you to do what you love.
The Majestic Fantasy is what I love.
Okay.
There's a little yap about. There was no live stream last night on this channel. The Thursday night live stream was going on the Wizard Tower Games channel. I was in the midst of wound up being 12 hours round trip drive upstate New York to pick up a puppy because we lost our doggy last week.
Oh, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know it was a puppy. I thought you were talking about coming to the con. Sorry.
No. I listen. There's a con going this weekend. It's EggCon. It would have been interesting because there are a number of individuals at EggCon that probably think I am an asshole or whatever. Not the organizers. I get along with those people. There's just a few people that were attending that I was like, oh. But also, it would be like a 16-hour drive from New York, and I do have my limits. Michigan is my limits. It's not Wisconsin. I can't do it, man. I can't. I gotta be firm.
If I recall correctly, there still isn't a statue of Gygax in Lake Geneva.
No, there isn't. There is a placard on the ground in the park that was paid for by the children. And
but what was paid for by the memorial fund that we all paid into with the D&D
there's a bench that came out, I guess, so you could sit on a bench. There's stuff.
That wasn't by the memorial fund, was it?
The memorial fund is essentially tapped out. I did a video on that months ago.
But didn't you check and they had a balance, and then it seems like 2 years later they had nothing, and they still didn't.
They spent the money on something, and maybe we'll see something. I don't rightly know. However, the not the original Gygax house, but Gail's house, Gail Gygax's house, is for sale. So if somebody wants to buy something that is peripherally involved with the TSR legacy, pretty much not at all, her house is for sale.
Pretty much not at all.
I'm just saying.
By the way, what was the cost supposed to be? Do you anybody know what the cost of the actual statue was supposed to be? What that wound up being?
Usually it's like 600, 700 GP.
Yeah. The problem with the statue,
And it's trapped, so
yeah. The problem
And
with
you
the
need a
whole,
movie. You need a bait and tackle, and you get all
Right.
kinds of. You got get pulley issues. You got clearance. You got to get it onto a cart.
yeah.
It's tough.
So here's the.
Oh wow, they haven't updated their website because according to their website, they have a capitalization over nearly $200,000.
Yeah, now it's gone.
How much?
It's
200,000.
gygaxmemorialfund.org.
All right, and here's the thing too.
That sounds like a criminal action right there.
Well, the monies that are in the Gygax Memorial Fund, now going from memory, was pretty much the fund was started with monies from a Gen Con auction, and then remember those actually decent reprints of the 1E books that WotC put out in between editions, in between 4E and 5E when they needed money. Well, a percentage of the proceeds went to the Gygax Memorial Fund. That's why for 2 years there were significant monies going into the fund, and then after that there were people buying pencils from the site. I mean, it was so over the last, I don't know, decade.
How good were those pencils? Or were they?
I don't know, but Gail did make sure she sent out an announcement that like Rob, your pencils are coming. Thank you, or something like that. It was on Facebook. And
You can still buy an adventurer's map of Lake Geneva for $750.
I mean, one of the things in the tax filing that still strikes me is that one of the things, like what you're raising this money for, and one of the things that was always stated on a yearly basis was a scholarship fund in the name of Gary. Now, if you have monies, you could accomplish that, but they never did. So I don't know why they kept on like boilerplate leaving that in. Our goals is a scholarship fund. The monies never went for that back then. Yes, the museum in Lake Geneva had a D&D exhibit. I understand it was pretty well done. And in theory, the Gygax Memorial Foundation, the GMF, under Paul Stormberg, who has a bit more direction than Gail, who didn't really seem to have much direction. But this is one of the things that it's pouring good money after bad. Nobody's donating to it, and no companies seem to be doing anything to support it. And the town insisted that if the statue were to happen, there had to be a maintenance fund. There had to be a fund.
Prudent. Yeah.
There had to be a fund to maintain it.
Somebody's going to polish those dice.
That's
wow, Rob dropping the heat.
Listen, I want have you guys ever watched the movie Benchwarmers with David Spade and John Lovitz and they were the struggling ball team, right? They're trying to, and John Lovitz is just this rich nerd, right? He has this beautiful house, everything is Star Wars. He pays for all. He's just a nerd. Where are those folks? Where are those just unbelievably rich people that says, you know what? I'll buy a statue. Here, we're going to make a statue and we're going to just put that money out there. And listen, you have, these kind of, movie star type people who play, who are there, who could afford it or at least chip in and say, hey, we're going to do this guy a solid. We're not going to worry about all these politics and we're not giving it to whatever. We're going to talk with Wisconsin government. We're going to talk to Lake Geneva. We're going to make it happen, without all the red tape. We're just going to put it there.
Okay, Flint.
Well, that's the thing is, you need to deal with the red tape. It's public property.
The red tape, the red tape of the fundraising part, that nonsense of where their money goes into. I'm talking about you got to do fine. Look, all they want is the Lake Geneva has their hand out. Great. I'll just keep putting money in your hand. You want somebody to polish the dice? Polish the dice.
Unfortunately, that's the problem. Is even if you got the fundraising out of the hand, it's the red tape that puts off people with money. They just want to write. Most people just want to write a check and be done with it in a month. And these kind of projects, they don't take a month to complete, unfortunately.
But and here's the thing: people in our hobby that have money spend the money buying the collectibles, the brown boxes, and shit like that in our hobby. I'm not pointing any fingers at, but I know a lot of them, and they are proud of their collection. They're not looking to throw away 100,000 or even 10,000 on wishful thinking for a statue that nobody really wants. And I'm going to be honest with you, nobody. Did you see the initial concept statue that they were pitching? I don't know, 6-7 years ago, done by the sculptor that did the Fonzarelli.
I remember that. I remember that well.
The one in Milwaukee.
Yes, that was the guy that was going to be doing it, and the statue was like, everybody looked at it. The new concept looks nice because you can sit at the stone table across from Stone Gary and roll some dice, but I'm sure the new concept is even more expensive than the old concept was.
Even if it's not a statue, let's take the statue off the table. We're not building a statue. There's something else that could be done by people with money, right? Who just walk in there and says, "Look, how much is it going to cost? We'll run the project. We'll pay all your little fees. We'll fill out all your little paperwork." These people can do it. These people work in Hollywood. They have billions of red tape that they go through every time they want to make a movie or a show. Right? These people are used to it. They have lawyers for that.
Well, it's NIMBY.
It's so complicated.
They have to overcome the NIMBY, which is not in my backyard.
Right. And I
mean, they're not necessarily opposed to it, but they don't want to put something there that they don't want in their backyard. So you have to convince them. Whatever it is you have in mind.
These people negotiate contracts for movies and shows and everything else.
Yeah, but you're talking about a small town in rural Wisconsin. That's tourist oriented.
We're not making. Well, it doesn't have to be Hollywood size, though, Rob. I'm talking about something nice, something that fits the area, something that's going to be attractive and add some value to the community.
Oh, so
somebody who lived in a small town all their life, yes, you have to convince them that is attractive.
Yes,
value.
And so you're like saying the dungeon.
Well, what I hear is you're volunteering to go take care of this problem,
buddy. I will, in a heartbeat, if I had some money. The only thing I lack is money.
But here's the other thing too. You got to remember, all these Hollywood elites are they're very concerned about image, and who has been the target of a lot of negative press.
I was going to make that joke when you talking about the supplements getting a percentage that went into the Gygax fight. I was like, that must have been before they realized he was evil, and they have to slander him.
Right. I mean,
it's ridiculous. Yeah.
So therein lies, I think, part of the issue is that you're not going to find people going, well, the ones you're going to find going, sure, put my money down, are the ones that don't have that much money. Okay, they're not the movers and shakers in Hollywood. Well, and there are movers and shakers in Hollywood that like to play RPGs, right? What's her name? The one with the Nespresso, her ex-husband. What's it? He played Deathstroke for like 2 seconds.
Manganiello.
Yeah.
Manganiello.
Yeah, Manganiello. I mean, I'm guessing he lost his game room in the divorce, but he's a huge RPG player, but I don't think he's going to be.
But he was in. But he
we don't have
played.
like a Kevin Costner of RPGs who's just going to
No, you
finance
don't have
a
anybody
huge
that.
amount of products without any
Yeah.
expectation of making the money back.
John has a good point. The problem is there's no star PR power in a Gygax statue on the broad scheme of things. It's not going to give them, hey, I did this. And people are going to go, I mean, like all the new 5e players are like, Gary who?
They would do it if it was really, it's just as simple as writing a check and spending a month talking to people. But it's just, they say about war, tactical genius can win battles, but wars are won on logistic. And that's what's the logistics of this is what makes it unappealing at a fundamental level.
Certainly, I can't.
It's probably small town politics, as Rob kind of alluded to.
Listen. When this was going on, I was actually reading the effing minutes from the city council meetings about the petitioning for the statue, and by the way, they were painful to read. I will tell you that, but usually the only person stepping up in favor of it was Gail. And occasionally you'd have 1, 2, or 3 names step up that didn't want it. Where she wanted it was prime real estate. They wanted to put it in like the marshlands. It's like in the back. Where the swampy stuff is. That's where we're going to put the statue. And she's like, but no, I want it right where Gary went with our family dog and fed the pigeons or the ducks or whatever. And they're like, no, the backwater.
Listen, you know how what they could do though. Let's say they don't do that. There's some towns that I've been in that that they have these like they'll put something on the streets like they have these not ceramic, but they're metal pigs, right? And there's like 20 different pigs all over the state or all over the city or whatever.
Right.
Right. It's like a tourist thing. You go around, take your picture.
You play Find a Pig. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Erie had frogs.
Yeah. So I mean, why not something like that would be fun that people would come and take pictures of? Could be dice, could be mimics, could be something like that would be of that would be like a trail or something like that. You could do something like that.
Well,
there's also some simple solutions, like you could buy a few vacations to Miami and then schedule your meeting and then give the trips to the people you don't want at the meeting, and they'll go to Miami. Then you have the vote, and then you win. This is basic politics.
That's right.
But the thing is too, until recently, Lake Geneva wanted nothing to do with D&D and the Gygax legacy. It's only recently, in the last couple of years, that they're realizing they can monetize this. So that's when some of these conversations, and I think part of that is probably Paul Stoneberg was able to not be the crazy cat lady talking to the city council, but to have somebody talk to the council that was, hey, I got a business plan. Hey, this is what it is, as opposed to, this is where my husband fed the ducks, and that's why I want.
Maybe there could be some letters written from a metalworking company saying that they wanted to move all of this business into Lake Geneva, but they can't because.
Sure, if you want Gygax in Flatland. We only work with plates, not 3-dimensional.
2-dimensional Gary.
I'm not saying you need to make the statue. I'm just saying you could seem like you're about to move the company there, and if there was a memorial statue, and then once the statue goes up, taxes changed, plans, I gotta go do this, and then you.
Sure, Greg, I'll be great at the logistics, but here's the thing: I don't have the money, so I'm missing half of the equation.
Threats
they
don't
wouldn't
take
me
money.
Seriously.
Come on. You just crush all my great ideas, Rob. It's just disappointing.
Crushed.
Hey, if you want to do Pickett's charge again, be my guest, but I'm not following you.
Sorry, we're getting a little historical here, folks. We didn't intend to. Somebody earlier in the chat pointed out that I did a video on the new D&D starter box, starter set that's coming out in September.
Yeah, I looked at it and I said, keep on the borderland. They want $50 for it, knowing what they have done with the keep in the borderland. Then I looked at the details. I said, oh, so that's where the rest of the money is going. I saw a short by you, the Fiddly Bits or whatever. It's filled with Fiddly Bits.
And listen, you can do Fiddly Bits, Pathfinder Beginner Box 1 and 2. A lot of Fiddly Bits, and you know what? They kept the price point, like $20.
4th edition had a box set with Fiddly Bits.
Right. But how much was it?
It's $25.
So $50. And
well, wait a minute, was it much Fiddly Bits?
Yeah, you had the punch outs, you had maps, there's all kinds of things in.
Yeah, and that's what Pathfinder had. Pathfinder, I've used those pogs. I used them at a convention one year. I was like, it was worth it for that alone.
I think you guys are not taking into account the cost of the condescension that has to be put into the box. The judgment and looking down on previous editions. That's heavy stuff. It costs money to ship. It costs money to make.
Well, thank you, Mr. Gunn. I guess I'm on fire.
What? What Mr. Gunn said? You like Fiddly Bits and my wife's bits? All right. Keep it clean. Yeah, we need a giant X card.
You notice my X cards keep getting bigger and bigger.
Keeps getting bigger.
This is the biggest X card yet. Wait till my next one. It'll be huge. It'll be huge, I say.
Huge. He'll have to step back to the camera just to get it in. But I personally think, looking at all the Fiddly Bits, I think that the new starter set was meant to be an introduction to playing D&D on Project Sigil.
On what? I didn't hear those last words.
On the VTT, on the 3D VTT that got killed because you had a board. So everything's out in front of you, right? You got a board. You got to move your pogs. You got to move your stand-up counters. Everything, all your magic items and everything else, your spells are all on a deck of cards to hand it to you, so you don't need to look at them. It was all.
Okay, so $25, right? So let's see what we got.
Because
I remember I didn't really lose. I didn't really. I just wanted it for the expansion to Fandelver. So let's see. You got this. You got 2 booklets. You got a DM screen.
And it's a nice low one.
You got a box you got to assemble yourself for all your doodads.
Right.
You got a full poster map.
But Rob, you don't have the consenting attitude thrown in there too.
You got character sheets. And
is there any excitement in there?
1, 2, 3, 4,
the card.
5,
the cards.
6. See, they got stat blocks on these. Nope, not yet. Nope. No, not really. This is just summary. 7, 8, 9. I think I miscounted, but there's 10 cards. But there's no stat cards in here. They're quest cards. They're initiative cards. There's NPC cards with important role-playing tips on them, but no stats. Condition cards.
And now
more condition cards.
So now, Rob, for
and all of these are magic item cards.
For $37, you can get Essentials and the 2014 starter set as a bundle. So for less than the new, oh yeah, hold on a second. One second. We're getting to reach around.
Oh no, 2 reach arounds in one stream.
He's reaching around through an imaginary background also. I see somebody carrying it.
He's disappearing into the ether.
Come back, Rick.
Oh, you got a fluffy one.
We got a fluffy one. She's a cavapoo.
A what?
Yes, that's what I said. She is what is it, Rach? A Cavalier?
King James Cavalier or something, right?
Charles Spaniel.
Charles.
A Cavalier, King Charles Spaniel, and a mini poodle.
Yes.
Yes. So, for the next like couple of minutes, I will.
Well, that's interesting, Eric, because my grandma, my mother's mother, had a poodle when I was growing up, and her best friend had a Cocker Spaniel. Now you have the two of them mixed together.
Yeah, it's one of those designer breeds, and apparently black doggies are often overlooked when people go to adopt because they aren't as striking in color as the cream and the brown ones. So,
like, is they like that teddy bear look? Like,
is it a he or she?
It's a she.
She's very calm.
Oh my God! Yes, she is.
Do you want her chew toy?
I don't know if I want to get drooled on, but I guess
she doesn't really drool a lot with it. She did.
You know,
I like dogs. I just don't want to take care of them. Cats are my real house in my life.
You want it?
Yeah, you can bring it, right?
Okay.
Zatterin in chat mentioned 3rd edition box set.
Oh wow!
And it has, look, I mean, you got real minis. I don't even know. I haven't even opened these yet. These are like, I've had them on the shelf, but I mean, you're getting all kinds of like.
How many minis though it has?
It's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 15.
15. So I bet 6 of them are player characters and the others are the monsters and the adventures.
Right. But still, you still bought that, what I mean, for price for inflation, obviously. So it was probably $25 back then, you know, for that. But at least you were getting something for it. I don't know if we were getting much more in the, you know, in the latest version of it. You know?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
We'll hold it from the other end.
Oh. I got the gooey side of the. She doesn't want the chew stick. Okay.
Are they maybe just Are they just trying to just make up the cover the like you know, Tenkar was saying, are they just trying to make up the cost somehow? Are they trying to sell and just double up and make up the cost that they spent on Sigil or on
whatever? I mean,
whatever they spent money on.
They're trying to blame the cost increase on the tariffs. No, and besides which, your starter set needs to be an impulse buy. And yes, you know, some people are going to buy this for their niece, their nephew, their grandkid, whatever, for Christmas. But you want something that when you're shopping with your kids, $20 is still kind of like an impulse buy. Or $50. If $50 is that mental, like, I'm making a commitment. This kid doesn't like this game. I'm going to whack him over the head with it. You know, it's like, you asked for it. You wanted it. Now you're not playing it.
Now I got to wonder what they're doing with the Keep in the Borderlands. I mean, as a sandbox compared to Fandelver, I mean, Keep on the Borderland, as classic it is, doesn't hold a candle to what you could do, the range of stuff the Fandelver, the original Fandelver module had you doing. It was a very, very good module for a starting campaign. And in the Cave of Chaos, I mean, yeah, you sneeze at one of those cave entrances, and any DM worth their salt would have everybody else in that ravine going, gee, I wonder what that's outside my door. And all of a sudden, you're fighting everybody from every goddamn cave in the ravine.
So the Zatrin makes a good point. In other words, they're out of touch with their core customers. That has been an issue with WotC. I mean, your starter set is there to bring people into the hobby. And you know, I worked retail for 8.5 years before I worked as a cop. I sold electronics for most of that time, and we had loss leaders. You had stuff that was literally brought in to be sold at cost just to get people into the electronics department to buy other tchotchkes. Well, $50 is not a loss leader. I don't care what you're not selling this at cost or near cost. You're making a profit off it, and apparently Watsy can't even consider how businesses often run things. We bring you in with this temptation so we can sell you more, and they're looking to make the more upfront. That's the way I see it.
I don't
I
know.
think the whole problem with WotC is that with 2014, yeah, we had the internet economy and digital technology, but it was still hasn't completely shaken out. Now it's 10 years later. We know they don't have a huge creative staff there, and they had a recent set of turnover, and they're expecting these guys to try to compete with people like Kelsey, like Greg, like the Kobo Press people, the team that criticize Critical Role all as you want, but they got a vision, they got a creative vision, they're executing it, they're hiring people to execute it,
Right.
and they're just one of a dozen teams of similar caliber floating around. What I mean, the only
Yeah, but
thing
I
they
mean, you
got
got to
going
think
for
like
them is the name
I was
brand.
having this conversation with my wife about production quality, basically as an overall topic for my stuff, and I was like, every one of us has had several products that we've bought that have had very, very high productive value and sucked, just totally sucked, and come to the realization that buying a book and having it with full color art and full color layout and great cover and all sorts of stuff like that ended up being a dog shit. It makes it so that people are more likely to really be shopping on, will I be able to use this? Will I like this as a product? And we're much more discerning. And the same thing happened in video games. There was a time period when people would just, buy tons of video. And then now there's so many video games that people are much more selective and discerning about what video games they're going to buy, even not even considering the price cost, the time cost of.
No, it's all about reputation.
Yeah. So I think they've created a situation where people are coming at everything they release with a negative standpoint. That not everyone, but a significant number of customers are walking in with a negative outlook from the beginning.
No,
And
you're just going to have to build your reputation and sell. Whether you're just a sole designer like you and me, Greg, or you're a small team like Kelsey, or somewhat larger like the creative roles. They're going to live and die by reputation, and the moment you start compromising that, you're going to go into a death spiral.
But maybe I'm wrong about this. If anybody knows differently, tell me. But I have not seen a single video share, image share, and I follow the Wizards official account on Twitter and I think on Facebook or whatever. I haven't seen a single share of like regular people, like little kids or somebody actually playing the game. Everything is this super slick marketing or these exaggerated over the top live plays that they like to share. But I mean, where's the video of just like 17-year-olds playing the game? Where's somebody talking? I don't see people even making posts about how they enjoyed playing with the new rules. I haven't seen a single post be shared about that. I haven't heard a single story of, oh, this thing happened.
Okay, so Greg, what industry, what leisure, because that's what we are, we're leisure. What leisure-oriented industry, entertainment industry, does that now? In your opinion, is doing it right?
Oh, I see for video games, tons and tons and tons of shares of people having fun doing the particular video game.
By
Right?
the company, not fans, enthusiasts.
The fans subsidize people to do Twitch streams and all kinds of stuff like that, man.
But
That's
isn't Critical Role our equivalent of the Twitch streams?
I don't know if they, yeah.
Well, no,
I
They
mean,
just
like
released their own
Critical Role.
games to get out from underneath WotC. So I mean,
no, Critical Role is going to be doing live plays in stadiums in 2026. I mean, God, they are a
I'll
performance.
take places I'll never like to be for $200, Alex.
They are a performance, is what I'm.
Isn't Alec Macris doing live plays on his channel?
Yeah.
But his live plays are probably actually players of players, as opposed to live play, as in like a theater play, right?
That's right.
But my question of you, Greg, have you seen a company like under their, not a fan like Alexander Macris of Adventure Conquer King? He published it. He's the publisher and author of his rule set, and he is actually doing live plays. So that's a good example. But I'm talking about in other areas like video games. You see the company like EA.
Let me give you the weakest possible example of a video game. Canvas of Kings, the map making tool that's on Steam. People are using it to make maps, and it's a super easy program to use to make RPG maps and export them. I follow his Twitter account. Tons of his posts are him resharing other people's maps and stuff that they've made using the tool and saying, this is a great tool, and he does that stuff. With video game accounts, I see video game companies bringing up, somebody is doing some live, they're like, hey, check this out. Hey, do this stuff. I've seen them subsidize people to do it with, they give people the game before it's even released, hoping that they'll play it and show it to them. That's about as subsidized as you can get. If you get Civilization 7 went out to a ton of Civ 6 video YouTubers before it ever hit the market. And those people were making videos talking about what they liked or didn't like about Civ 7. It happens all the time.
And Wizard is of course not doing any of that.
Right. What they used to do, right? We remember seeing in the back of comic books, you'd see kids ages 11 to 13 years old, probably sitting around the table, playing and doing and marketing that way. But Wizards is now D&D is now a brand, right? So we don't have to. It's not in their minds. I don't think they think it's a kid's game anymore. It's just D&D. It's something you wear. It's something you do slot machines. It's it's a thing. So they don't feel like they don't feel like they need to put any marketing effort into showing kids or maybe anybody that you're actually playing the game.
Yeah.
I just want to say, now that
food companies bring in people to taste the damn food.
Now that you said, now I understand where you're coming from, Greg. Well, it's kind of ironic that Wizards not doing any of this, because the whole reason they're in this position is because Mike Mearls and his team in 2013, 2014, that's the kind of crap they were doing. They were doing the D&D next play test. They were doing all that. And then
even back then, they weren't making
to do that.
They weren't making posts, and this is going to sound like conceited. I'm not even talking about myself here, right? Like, the people who are successful at doing social media, whatever, right? I'm suck at this. They are interesting people. They make interesting comments. They make interesting posts. They can take a regular picture that might not even get that much traction, and they can add something in how they post it to make it more interesting. These are the kind of people who become big Twitter people, big Instagram people, all these different things. There's so many different venues that they could have people in doing, but they don't have people even making interesting posts. The people that they put in charge of these accounts aren't interesting people with interesting ideas. That's just the way it is, right? Like, I haven't seen a single post from the D&D Twitter account since I went back to Twitter. What, like over a year ago now? After a long time of social media hiatus, I went back. I started rebuilding again, and they were one of the first accounts I followed because I wanted to see if they were doing anything interesting. I haven't reshared a single thing that they've ever posted because it was even funny.
Well,
nothing. They haven't posted any memes that were funny. They haven't posted any thoughts. Everything that they post is so fucking cringe. It makes me cry. Like when Elder Scrolls posted that video of the cat woman making the scratching sounds, and it was viral because it was so bad. They haven't even been that bad. They're in the sweet spot of not bad enough for anybody to give a shit, but not good enough for anybody to give a shit. So it's like you're in no man's land here. Nothing's getting reshared. People aren't even hate commenting on this shit. That's how bad it is. They're just horrible at it. They're just horrible. My 15-year-old son could just write random shit every day, and he would probably be more successful at getting followers than whoever they have running the fucking D&D account. No talent shitbags. Whoever they are, whoever they have running it, they just suck. They suck really bad.
Well, if you look at their current feed on Dungeons and Dragons on X, it is overwhelmingly pushing the Welcome to the Hellfire Club, Stranger Things, D&D, I don't know what crossover, whatever it is. That's it. It isn't marketing. They're not even marketing their upcoming starter set on it. It's tchotchkes and a crossover because it's not about the game anymore. It hasn't been for years. It's about how to get the most monetization out of the IP. And I am sure that they sat down with somebody who said, well, if you price it at $50 for the starter set, you're going to lose some sales, but you're going to make more money per sale. And it was all, they don't do anything, I'm sure, without market research.
Eric, if whoever's running the Wendy's Twitter account was given even a $50 box set, they could move more fucking units than WotC, because I actually have seen Wendy's tweets that go viral because they make funny jokes and riff on people.
They do.
It's fucking Wendy's, man.
Wendy's, if you remember, had their own role-playing game.
Yeah,
made their own role-playing game.
It's food. How could you? This is nerdy, dynamic stuff with all kinds of bits for you to talk about and make fun of. How many burger jokes could you come up with, dude? Like,
but you see,
Wendy's killing it. And
Wendy's, whoever's doing it,
are fucking retarded.
Whoever's doing it for Wendy's is being trusted with the brand. Whereas, right. and that's when, remember, WotC is part of Hasbro, so you have multiple layers. So I'm sure whoever's running the X account has to go through multiple layers of, is this appropriate? Is it? Oh no, you're going to offend these. Oh no, you can't do that. Oh well, I'm not comfortable with, and that's why they aren't relevant. That's
I just want to respond to John Miller in the chat. I don't know if he knows about this. There is a Wendy's RPG.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Look it up. Yeah, it is a real deal, and it is.
It went viral. Didn't it go viral for a little bit?
What, Rob?
It went viral.
When Wendy's first tweeted about it, it went viral for a hot moment.
It's out there. It's got great layout design. It's got great, it's a good thing. Like, I have it stored on my library somewhere. Like, check it out.
Alexander Williams, it was pretty bad. In fairness, D&D 2024 is more playable.
Just you see that? You see that comment right there? better than any comment coming off the D&D official account. See, because that last word "just" was a joke. See how that worked? Like he made a statement, and then at the end he added the joke. See, that's how you do it. That's how you make posts.
Yeah, we need to hire. Are
They
you looking
they
for a
should
job?
hire Alexander Williams at least. I mean, like, even if he spent 10 minutes a day, it would be better than this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm in a spicy mood tonight.
He's
I
how
don't have any patience for these fucks.
We're all in an ornery mood tonight.
Yeah.
all right.
I was going to say, when you're watching, like last night I was watching, like little things I think irritate us. Like I was watching, my wife decided to watch Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, right? With Jimmy Kimmel hosting. And they had Ken Jennings and Matt Damon, which, by the way, Matt Damon admitted to playing D&D right there on the show when he was a kid. Because it was a question about it was Dungeons and Blank. And he says, "Oh, I remember I played that as a kid." And he, makes comment. But here's the deal. When we believe that smart people do dumb things, right? We go, our head explodes. It's like on the show, everybody chose to go with the audience. What does the audience say about this? What is their answer to these complex questions? You have a choice. There's a 50-50 choice. You are choosing between two things that you are thinking in your brain. I think it might be this, and it could be this. The other two are wrong. So nobody chooses 50-50. They ask the audience about some question about who had more had 11 top hits in the Billboard charts. And you can see by the age of the crowd, I don't think there was a person over 50, probably in the crowd, maybe in the 40. And you know what they voted? They said Britney. Their choices were between Britney Spears and Whitney Houston. Like, you could have done a 50-50, narrowed it down to those two. The audience got it wrong. They said Britney Spears. Why would you ask the audience who doesn't even maybe know who Whitney Houston is? Like, she had 11 top 10 hits. I'm going, you people. So I think that's what makes our brains explode. When smart people do dumb things. That's just dumb.
Yeah, but you know what?
They're told doesn't even know there's an audience.
The audience thing is part of the shtick, and they're told you gotta ask the audience. You gotta use that. We don't want that one sitting on that. People love it when everybody's got to watch them hit their button, make your choice on the thing in front of you.
That's right. And in this case, the audience is Hasbro, and the people playing are Wizards of the Coast. They want to do the smart thing, but Hasbro says, no, we're going to go ahead and ask the audience.
Yeah, we're going to ask the audience. The audience always knows.
Of all the choices you have.
Wizards of the Coast has asked the audience in a long time.
You never ask the audience, folks. That's the.
Now, if you want to get ahead in this gig, you got to be authentic. You got to. I mean, you want to listen to people, but in the end, it has to be your creative vision. Otherwise.
But I mean, there are people in this hobby that I make fun of a lot personally, but there are people in this hobby who really are D&D super fans still, and they're more interesting than Wizards of the Coast, at least. And they may be a little kooky or have some kind of thing, but at least they make posts that people read. I don't want to get into any names, but we've seen the reaction videos.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Videos, okay, so I'm saying there's people out there that do exist.
Okay, fair enough. All right, so here I'm gonna pivot up. Yes, I'm allowed to pivot. You can adjust, but I gotta pivot. Game Found, I believe that's the name of the company. I only heard about them when they got their license with Gygax Games, which then became absolutely nothing. But Game Found just bought out Indiegogo. So we got a consolidation of our crowdfunding platforms.
Yeah, for those who don't know, explain who GameFound. They do board game printing, right?
They do board game printing, and I believe
No. I'm sorry. They do
no,
board game funding.
they do board game funding, but I think initially they were a lot of what they were doing was computer games. But now, in just recently, right, we saw Backer Kit come out of not nowhere because they were the leading, I don't know, third party supporter of projects on Kickstarter for the back end. But now they are their own crowdfunding platform. Hasbro has its own crowdfunding platform, so for some of its projects, which a lot of people don't even realize. Indiegogo was always like that red-headed stepchild that people, were like, I don't know if I want to go with them. But now, with the
Well, of course,
consolidation,
you have James Raggy's referee book over there.
well, yeah, but you also have
Rob
a lot
is in an ornery mood tonight.
one of the advantages with Indiegogo was that most projects allowed you to pay for your pledges with PayPal, which a lot of people liked, and they had what was called flexible funding, which meant that even if a project didn't hit its goal, your monies were likely to be collected anyway, which would really suck if there was no way that project was going to be made without full funding. So I'm very interested to see what this means for crowdfunding going forward. I know that BackerKit striking out as its own platform, what must have been a blow to Kickstarter because
You say Backer Kick is striking out, or
it struck out. They went and became their own crowdfunding platform.
Yeah, I think
well, you saying it's not going well,
No,
or
striking out as in taking their steps. Yes.
Okay. Well, I can tell you this: compared between my current Kickstarter into the Majestic Fantasy Realm. By the way, guys, which is still open to late pledges, so if you missed it, you can get in on it. Only need $240 to get uh, no, $140 to get to 40,000. But anyway, compared to that to what I had for how to make a fantasy sandbox, I think Kickstarter is feeling the heat because there's a lot more features, especially for handling pledges and stuff. I'm going to be interested when I get to that point to see how well that works out.
I don't think we're at a point yet where there's kind of anti-competitive behavior, Eric. Are you saying that might be
I'm
the
not
situation?
saying that. But are we getting to the point now where there's a little consolidation of companies? I mean, this is your number one and number two are Kickstarter and BackerKit, and this is like the two that were pulling up the rear now, consolidating. It's almost like I guess cell phone companies when they started consolidating, when you had like a baker's dozen, and now you're down to what, 3, 4 major ones.
I don't know that there's any way around that. That happens that's been happening in streaming services. There's been consolidation. I think it's a tough business, especially when there's network effects. So BackerKit and Kickstarter have searchable databases, right, and repeat business. So it creates if you do it on a platform that there's a lot of people going to anyway, you're going to be getting a network effect that's going to be favorable. That's going to push smaller actors out. Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's right. My big concern kind of recently is these payment processors that are demanding things be the way that they want them for some moral position. There was a controversy this week with some games that got removed from video games that got taken down that were basically hentai.
And I saw a good comment on that. They don't seem to have a problem with Amazon, with doing business with Amazon.
Yeah, and there's
Look at all the
tons of
crap that they have
yeah,
on
they're just
Amazon.
forcing these, like Steam, I think, and itch.io are the two companies that got forced. And if Visa and MasterCard have such a huge amount of market share that if they don't like what you're doing, they can shut down like an entire genre of a particular thing. I mean, I'm no fan of hentai in particular, but if they can do it to one thing, then as soon as they, if they decide Gary Gygax is evil and we need to shut down all D&D stuff or whatever, I mean, it's hard to imagine that there could be some kind of moral panic about role-playing games. You know what I mean?
Never,
Yeah.
never.
So those are the kind of things that I worry about more than kind of consolidating of crowdfunding, is that we have payment processors that are feeling like they have to have some kind of say in what people are doing.
Well, yeah, it's like they are your moral compass. Like, oh, we don't like that business. Well, and that it's just like there are certain things historically that we've always expected to be neutral grounds, right? Banks, you generally expect as a consumer to be a neutral ground. They want your money, you want their service. It's mutually beneficial. But now banks have been making, statements that no, maybe we don't want your business because we don't like the business that you're in, whether it's hentai, whether it could be porn, it could be firearms. That probably got me demonetized. But it could be any of these things that all of a sudden.
We're talking about dwarven firearms, folks.
Dwarven firearms.
Not a problem.
With fantasy gunpowder.
Yeah.
Yes. But that's been going on. I've been following some of that stuff, and again, these are what you always expected. We're going to be a neutral ground, and there are very few neutral grounds out there these days.
Yep. I think there just needs to be some kind of way that we treat common carrier under the law. With the phone company can't decide whether they're going to take your business or not,
right?
Based on whether what you're saying on the phone. You either get a line or you don't. There should be that kind of thing. It just seems crazy to me. And the more that they do stuff like this, the more they're asking for some interest group to go to politicians and get that. It seems like if they had any intelligence, they would be laying low on that kind of shit. Especially if you're a near monopoly, you should really not. If you're a near monopoly, you should not be making people think about how much of a near monopoly you are.
Well,
Drive-Thru RPG does a lot of that. They don't want to attract. They try to tread lightly.
But in theory, a drive-through has a stated policy. Usually, when it comes to these other things, there's no stated policy. It's generally the, oh yeah, no, we don't want that. It wasn't a policy that was stated. It isn't like, oh no, we don't do business with that. It's like, oh no, we're not going to do, or we're going to cease doing, and that's different than drive-through having a stated policy. But yes, they are essentially a monopoly within our vivid industry because there aren't too many other options. You got Lulu, and you've got itch.io, but there really isn't anybody who's...
No, the drive-through RPG is our hobby's it's our hobby's major Achilles heel at the moment.
But there are other publishing systems. So I mean, like Amazon is open. You could, if you got kicked off a drive-through, you could go to Amazon. You could go. There are other vendors that will do print on demand.
I guarantee your volume sales will be.
I'm sure it would. Yeah, I'm just saying, like from a pure monopoly standpoint, like I can't get. Think about how hard it is sometimes to say that they take Discover or American Express.
Diners Club.
Yeah, like that used to be like, I mean, like getting card acceptance is a real, like, if you can't get access to that. That's a serious impediment. So I mean, I don't think drive-through should be gatekeeping people for speech things either. Let me just throw that out there. But I think that just like I think a social media company shouldn't be doing that. They should be saying whoever is publishing the thing is the person taking responsibility for the thing. You know, if I make a post on Twitter that is horrible, whatever, that's for me. That's not Twitter's deal. Like
Right.
that Twitter's just the platform for that. If I write hate emails to Rob, it's not Outlook's fault. You know, shit.
Well, the Supreme Court differs
Well,
slightly. It's not totally been yanked away, but the common carrier uh, um, stuff is under attack.
all right. I got to adjust myself because even though you are a light doggy, man, you get heavy after like. Can you help? I'm trying.
What's wrong with your dog?
You're just a lump. You're a lump.
Yeah.
I'm trying to maneuver. And you're like, no. I'm
Well, you got her yesterday, Eric. She's nervous, and you're
no. She slept the 5.5 hours back on Rachel's lap. You were so good. Yes. Yeah, I gotta say it. All right. There you go. There. How's that? Now you can see the actual room. No. I know what you want to do. No, don't do it. Don't do it. I don't want to get kissed.
Do it.
No. I don't want to be violated by my doggy. All right. So, what other events have been going on in our hobby that we haven't addressed? And yes, drive-through is owned by the same guys who own Roll20. Roll20 actually owns drive-through. If you look at the email addresses, they're all drive-through addresses.
I got some kick-ass layouts to share if you're interested in that.
All right, we can just.
I have a Kickstarter that's launching on Tuesday.
Oh, that's right.
Oh, it's okay. So we'll talk about that definitely next.
Yeah, we'll have great.
Hey, I recognize that dragon in the portal.
Yeah, Forge. No, yeah. So yeah, this I did an art count. It's over 300 pieces. I could probably afford about 50 with the Kickstarter money. With paying the artists the rates they want. But I have plenty of art that I accumulated over the years that to use for this. But I went on to Dean Spencer, and he had some nice full color pages, and I really like it. And I thought I'd use them for dividers between the different maps.
Are you printing this in premium color?
Yeah, those are.
Okay,
am I printing in I'm going to print in standard color. That's my plan.
Oh, okay, because I think you might want to go with a thicker paper if you're going to use that kind of stuff. Watch your proof carefully. I'm stuck on A5 because if it's A5, there's only regular paper. You can't get the premium paper. And so when I print like something that has a full color page, sometimes it can be too dark.
Yeah, hold on. I have actually, I think I have something here I can. Well, I'll show it later. But I did those Widerland guidebooks, and I had to print my full color maps in them. So it worked out okay. But I'm prepared to go premium if this doesn't work out in standard. But so that is the opening for the Great Glacier, and I thought, wow, that's going to really work out. And this is the Wild North picture, and I thought that the Wild North is slightly more settled, and then I went with this for Black Marsh.
Good.
And finally, I went with this for Northport, figuring the largest city in the region is part of that area. So I went with a more city scene. And so that's great. Although this page here, I have maps that I'm gonna put in there to city maps. So that worked out. But like I said, all those gray blocks here, those are the sections I have yet to go through and determine. So if I go all the way up here, so like this page is a good example. So I had satisfactory art that I got from Rick Hershey, and this one's from the Forge. But here I'm going to commission. That's why it remains gray.
Okay.
And commission. That one is this lady on Wikipedia did all this D&D art. It's all Creative Commons BY, so that's great. I tried contacting her, but she's not responding anymore. Same here. This gray block for gnomes is something I'm going to get commissioned. I have this nice picture of an elf, but...
Are you referring to Lady of Hats?
Yeah, Lady of Hats.
Some good stuff. I have it saved.
And well, this one's not going to make it. This is just a reference that I'm going to share with Richard Luschek. This is a Richard Luschek. He does the Harn art. So anyway, so I'm about down to... Yep. This is as far as I got. Tomorrow I will start working my way through the rest of it.
Very cool.
So take it away with your Kickstarter, Greg.
Oh, I'm going to be on Critical or
Talking
Crit. Sorry, I started the wrong word first.
It's all right. We forgive you.
Talking Crit on next week, I think.
Next Wednesday, my birthday.
Next Wednesday, the 30th. And we're going to go through all the stuff. It's up right now. I can give you I thought I'd already given it to you, Eric, the URL.
Not tonight yet. So give it to me either in the private chat or on... there we go. And
so it's called Shadow City Blood and Neon. And it is an adaptation of the principles of Shadowdark into a modern vampire setting. And
in short, you're going to make a better White Wolf, World of Darkness.
Much better, actually, because it uses old school principles to build out everything however you want. So there's a neighborhood generation system, and then there's a location site generating system that builds it out like a dungeon, builds out any size building shape. You can create these node maps to just build whatever you need on the spot. So it turns the game into a territory battle. Basically, you have the more territory you control, you get basically like a free blood every night. So that it puts you into competition with all the other vampires in the NPC vampires, in that you're trying to build as big of a territory as possible. And it is the D20 game, Ultra, yeah. So
are you gonna adapt that once you get that project done? You're gonna adapt that system to fantasy settings and come out with a supplement for that?
There may be a Western Reaches thing that's coming soon. We'll get from Kelsey, and that would be a good opportunity for me to release such a supplement, wouldn't it be?
Yes, it would.
Yeah, it would be. So yeah, I'm working on stuff like that. But yeah, it makes a vampire game that runs like Shadowdark, where any moment you could just be taken out. You know, you fail to heal a horse and it explodes, or wrong reference there, Paul. You know, you one misstep and and you're toast. So it's
True.
a high stakes, old school experience.
Flint, I gotta ask, you blew up a horse that you were trying to heal?
It wasn't me. It was Ken. We met an old man, and the old man had just one horse, and he was going to let us stay there. And as a gesture, Ken said, "Well, I'll be happy to heal your horse." And he failed it, and wound up killing this man's one and only horse, and because he failed his spell. So
Now refresh my memory. Shadow Dark has a critical spell failure table.
If the spell fails critically, there's a mishap table that you roll on, and one of the results must have killed. I don't remember the exact result, but woo,
safe to say that the horse died, and then it was all downhill from there. Because then Joe the lawyer goes off chasing bears for no reason, chasing aggravating bears, and the bears are climbing up now to kill us. Why are we doing that? Stop.
But if you want to know more about Shadow City, I'm also tonight in an hour and 45 minutes. I'm going to be on Second Watch with Lord Mattias and Gary Lewis, and we are going to be talking about it in detail. So I was just trying to hold up my end of the party tonight, not really pushing my.
Oh, I appreciate it.
But watch the video. I think the video really kicks ass for this product. It's on the Kickstarter page, and actually, it's not on that preview. I can give you a preview link that will have it, or I can just give you the link to it's on my YouTube channel. For some reason, it won't show you the video on the Kickstarter preview page.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, drop it into the private chat, and I will make sure I share it out for the people here.
I thought my preview page had a video on it, and it worked.
I thought so too, and then I turned it on the thing live with Dungeons and Dyslexia, and apparently there was a whole sucks. But anyway, there's the video link. I just dropped it to you.
Yep.
It's off. I just have it on my my YouTube channel. I put it up there first as a teaser. But yeah, it covers everything. I think it's really cool. I think there's a lot of gameplay that you can get out of it. And the Kickstarter is only going to be a $20 buy-in. And you get, for $20, you get the PDF, and you get a coupon to print it at cost for softcover, and you get a coupon to print it at cost for hardcover. Great deal.
How many page book is it?
I'm sorry, what, Rob?
How many page book is it?
240 about.
Okay.
Yep.
That's
And
not bad at all.
Kickstarter's over, it will eventually go on drive-through for not that good of a price. So, act now.
Operators
Or act on Tuesday.
by.
Get in while the getting's good.
We wouldn't want you to miss out on this amazing deal.
That's right.
Okay. When's your mommy coming to pick you up, damn it?
I do have a quick funny story if you're interested. This past weekend, I played the One Ring, the free league version.
Oh, which edition?
What's that?
The first edition or the current one?
Second edition.
Did your horse explode?
Did not, but something even better might have happened.
Winning.
So I ran the game, and I ran it for these young men, and a lot of them were teenage guys, and so I had 2 red squirrels, just as a random thing. Just wanted to come up, and they wanted some of his cheese he was eating. So I said, they make these big squirrel eyes at you, and they very sad squirrel eyes, and they said they like some. There's 2 squirrels, and the young man says, I stab one of them.
What?
Okay. I guess he was hungry. He wanted meat. He didn't want cheese. So he stabs one of them. So I said, okay, you stabbed one of them. You damaged it. It's now dead. I said, the other squirrel looks at you, and its eyes start to narrow, and then it attacks you. And I rolled, attacked. And I said, I'm going to wonder where where he strikes at. So I rolled a random dice.
I see where this is going.
And it bit him right in the crotch. And so
the
now
squirrel went
he
for
is
the nuts. All right,
he is now flailing about. It gets better. So the dwarf in the group says, "Don't worry, I'll kick it off." So he does a running kick and kicks. He winds up kicking it off, but he also obviously kicks the poor hobbit that had that. So later on, of course, he takes all this damage. The table is just laughing and hysterics. And later on, I said, listen, they all went to sleep. And I said, when you wake up the next morning, you notice all your food is gone. And there seems to be breadcrumb trails everywhere. And then they got further into the forest. I said, now you start seeing wanted signs with your picture on it at the bottoms of trees with a warning. Stay away from this hobbit. So the news traveled fast amongst the animals to stay away from this murderous hobbit.
Well, I know some of you guys are not the video game crowd, but there in Fallout 4, there are these little tapes that you can find on the map. And one of them is a book on tape called The New Squirrel. And you collect, I think there's like 5 tapes. And as you're like listening to the first few episodes, it sounds like a normal kid's like moral story, and then it goes really hard. So if you look up on YouTube, there's some guy who he just plays all 5 of them in a row on like a capture, and it is one of the funniest kid stories. Like, it's told by this guy with this like folksy voice, and he thinks it's like an authentic good story for kids, and then at the end everything goes horribly wrong. It's brutal. Oh my god, it's hilarious. And you find in the game, you find the tapes in this trailer park, and like the last one is in this place that you can't unlock until you've got the other 4. So they know that you have the other 4 tapes by the time you get the 5th one in. Oh man, it's killer. It's great. The New Squirrel. Oh man, great story.
There we go. I'll have to look it up.
No, I'm
your wife cooing to the dog.
I'm mucking around with Harn stuff.
My wife picked up the dog. Thank God.
I heard her like talking to it for a little bit there. It's faded out now.
No.
You're a good boy. Oh, you're a good boy.
You gotta go, Eric. Do you gotta go poopsie? Do I gotta take you to go poopsie? Come on, Eric. Let's go poopsie. No, that wasn't to me. Thank God.
Oh, that wasn't to you. Okay.
No. And by the way, me wearing a black shirt, holding the black dog, she blended right in. I had trouble seeing the damn dog when she crawled up me. But yeah.
Is that all of the controversies this week? And you do the This Week in Stupid. Is there anything else to come? Did you see the tweet today that I made about?
It's not a controversy, but Kevin Crawford, Ashes Without Number, is dogging the tail of Critical Role's RPG.
Well, I know.
That's good. That's a good reference point, then. Yeah.
Also, number 3 on drive-through is the new Cosmere RPG.
It's the Brandon Sanderson one.
Yep.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about the Brandon Sanderson universe deal, so yeah. But it's
they already have a zillion supplements out. They got 22 products from right out of the gate.
Well, that's thank you, Kickstarter. They got numbers 1. That's right, 2, See, 3, 5, and 10. So they got 3 spots in the top 10. And the new Warhammer. Oh no, it's one old Warhammer, one new Warhammer. Has spots 4 and 8.
Maybe Rob, you should make a Cosmere sandbox.
I don't think they have an open license.
You're always afraid of that stuff.
What do you mean I'm always afraid of my stuff? You said make a Cosmere.
I do have
sandbox. What do you want me to do? Copy
Name
them,
it.
or you want to make something like Cosmere-like?
Rob's how to make a Friendship is Magic sandbox. And you could have all kinds of stuff like that in
it. You can make a box set.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rob and his friends, and you could have purple and teal as your trade colors, and you could move units, man.
Yeah, box sets on our level of publication are just pretty much a way to lose money. I'm just saying.
I don't care. It's been attempted many times. Nobody has quite cracked it yet.
The Basic Expert has a bunch of videos where he talks about he's doing one for his white box, white like the undead.
Well, the ones who don't take a total shit bath because of it, it's just a one-off. They don't keep it in stock anymore.
Right. Well, that's part of it, because remember, you can't ship it medium mail because you probably include dice or a pencil or something that doesn't fall under media mail. The first and one of the few that I saw that was successful was when Zach Laser did his lesser known Kickstarter set. Was it well over a decade ago? And when he re-released it, it was in hardcover because it was just more feasible. He didn't lose money, but he didn't make money in that first Kickstarter. It was that his man hours were free, but he also included minis, which is another way to lose money. Just ask Judges Guild. I mean, minis are a money sink. They probably always have been.
Well, I was going to say this earlier, but Death Angel Shadows in the chat here on many Friday nights with us, and I did an interview with him earlier this week on Sci-Fi for Me channel. If you can't find it it's on YouTube, but there's all sorts of shares on my Twitter earlier in the week, Wednesday, I think it was. And I went into a lot of the discussion about Kickstarter pricing and the businessy side of my stuff. If anybody is interested in that was a good interview.
Yeah, I had a really good time on this show, and it was we had a really great conversation. I highly recommend going on it if you have the chance.
I really think that the key to making it work is finding all of the things that people are doing that are burning all their money up and not doing that.
My rule is
it's a revolutionary idea.
Kevin Crawford does.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, there's so many people. I've said on several streams now, Eric, that I'm haunted by all of the things I've learned from you over these years of Kickstarters that have just crashed and burned, people who've destroyed their companies, ruined everything. Okay, I'm not going to do that. All those things that Eric has documented people doing.
There are a few of those that stick out, and they were pretty early on in my Kickstarter coverage. Was it South Side or something like that, which was supposed to be a kickstarted video series of the inner city, which was just I gotta find some videos of that one. Wow. That was hilariously bad. The guy who kickstarted his project, and then his video had him sitting with his feet up with his dirty socks on.
Awesome.
That's, I mean, folks, when you're making an impression, that's not the impression that you want to make. Maybe you're comfortable, maybe it deals with your stress.
No, what you want to do is you want to go to a bottom of a cold ass ravine in the spring and freeze your ass off while
There you go.
I heard that works.
Yes.
Leave your shoes on. We don't want to see your
wear a beret.
No, it would not have been safe to kick my shoes off down there. It would, up top in the cemetery that ravine's a part of, it was fine. It's just when you got all the cold, it was just that time of the year, right time of the year where all the cold air was pooling down there. And boy, it was cold.
Now, I just thought of this, Rob. You could have, while you were down there, you could have included a jump cut to you pitching Mystic Mountain Blueberry Flavor Pieade, and then cut back, like it was a commercial break.
Gotcha.
You missed that opportunity there, buddy.
All right, I'm gonna put that in my notebook.
I still think you got, Pieade needs to be a drink. You got to sell it.
Yep. Here's my note.
I think Chubby should do. You should. I don't know why you don't do a Blade, some sort of Blade commercial. Like you dressed up with some shades, you got your sword on the back or leather coat.
My wife did take a picture of me wearing sunglasses recently, and I shared it to Twitter. And she titled my dog, who was also wearing sunglasses, the Fuzzy Funster.
Oh,
yeah.
That doesn't sell quite as well as the Blade comparison.
Yeah,
I know. I'm not as good as you as this stuff, man. It's hard.
Well,
you come up with the good things.
I'm the idea guy
now. I mean, shit.
Too late.
Where were you 2 months ago? Come on.
Where were you 2 months ago? You knew. You could have called.
2 months ago, I was getting ready to meet you for the first time in real life.
That's true. You were.
It was a whole week of prep for
that. You had to prep that long just to meet me.
I had to
get the courage up.
I had to talk to the mirror. I had to do all this stuff.
You practiced the opening line. Yeah.
All right. So going back to one of our earlier topics, John Miller makes a point. Watsy is pricing their starter set at $10 or more than all of their competition. Unless the DD starter set had awesome components, which does not seem to be the case. That's not the point. People aren't going to take two starter sets. Call of Cthulhu starter set, $20. RuneQuest starter set, $20. All you need to start playing those systems. I think Call of Cthulhu has one solo and 3 full adventures in it. And I could buy those 2 starter sets and still have $10 left over to pay for my parking at any city mall because it's never free parking. But yeah, think about that.
I got the OSD starter set for my son because he was starting to do solo plays. And it was very reasonable. I don't remember the exact price. I mean, it was not a big lift. So,
well, keep an eye on Target, because if Target gets the box sets, sometimes Target will then go ahead and move them down a little bit, so you can probably get a deal on them at Target.
Yeah, but maybe $39.99 or $39.98. I mean, they're not going to. It's still going to be not. When you can get the original starter set and the essentials box for $35 or $36, whatever it is, it's on Amazon, folks. You can get the pair of them for 25% less than the new starter. Why? What are you trying to prove except we can make more money per box, per unit? I don't know what the metrics are they're going to be using.
Well, let's wait and listen for the next shareholder meeting at Hasbro, and we'll see if
I believe they just had one, and I don't think D&D came up at all. Hasbro's monies were up for the quarter, but that was mostly on Magic the Gathering. So another reason why D&D as a game is less important. It's not the moneymaker for WotC. The new vice president of D&D franchise, which, by the way, used to be the vice president of D&D, but apparently the vice president of D&D was only the vice president of D&D the RPG. Now the franchise own, all the fiddly bits of D&D fall under that one aspect. And I find that interesting because, again, supposedly, he claims he's been playing with the same D&D group since his junior high school years, since his early teens. He's still gaming with the same group of players. So this might be the first person in charge of the D&D franchise since Ray Winnegar, who is actually a gamer. I don't know.
I don't know.
I've seen some things going on behind the scenes that lead me to believe that he's going to be big on not just licensing D&D out. I mean, licensing D&D for tchotchkes, but maybe licensing D&D to some extent to other companies. Maybe we'll get third parties publishing work that is licensed, not just under the Creative Commons or the SRD, but as standalone D&D power projects. But he's got to write this ship and make money off it. And that's all.
I've heard from a very reliable source that people that look like that guy you're talking about are on their way out of the hobby.
Really?
I think that's old news by now.
What I heard.
I think that's old news. Greg, that horse been beat to death.
I'm just saying they had a golden opportunity here to get those guys out of the hobby. And what did they do? They chose another one of those guys. Now, clearly there's a miscommunication in there about who needs to get out of the hobby.
Well, no, I don't think so, because all the people that were there that had that attitude have all recently left the company and moved on to other places, whether it's
and got fired from those other places.
That's right.
Well,
what was that? The woman who went to Funko? Or what?
Cynthia Williams.
Yeah. Maybe she could come back, and they could rehire her now.
Right.
After
no,
a year
thank
of
you, eh?
successes.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're not allowed to play Daggerheart or we're not allowed to play that, and we're not allowed to play whatever the other one is.
What's going to be interesting going forward, I think, is whatever plans there were for D&D 2024, we're banking on Project Sigil making a significant impact on the bottom line. And now that has been dropped. And this guy who came in from their computer side. So I'm sure he was involved in that. Maybe he didn't think maybe he advised against it. But they're going to have to make up those monies. And how are they going to do that? And if not, then is D&D more valuable licensed out to a third-party publisher like Warhammer is as an RPG?
Well, I think they could go with a business strategy of producing good materials.
What?
I know it's like a legend. It's crazy.
You speak dangerous words.
I'm really pushing the boundary here. The envelopes. Ooh.
That deserves a harumph. Harumph.
I mean, it just seems to me like a possible solution. Yeah. Make things that people want to buy.
No.
Well, a $50 starter set is on the plate there for you. And by the way, I don't blame the new vice president. That was announced before he came in. But yeah, no, that's just I'm still sticker shock, right? Isn't that what they call it? When you look at the price and you go, "What the were they thinking about?"
Money.
Well,
they were thinking about money. Is what they were thinking about.
Did you see? I shared a post on Twitter today earlier, Eric, about White Wolf. That they're basically hiring an entire top-level team. They're looking for simultaneously. They're hiring for lead game designer, commissioning art director, editor and rules manager, operations director, and producer.
Yeah, that's everybody.
Yeah, for something that I said on Twitter. It sounds like they've got. We have money to spend, but we don't know what the fuck to do. Like, we need a team of people to even figure out what we should do.
Maybe White Wolf is going to license the D&D IP and come out with D&D 6.0 or
D&D Dark.
D&D After Dark. Okay, there we go.
Did anybody happen to see Professor DM announcement about his game coming out next year, Deathbringer?
I did, because Shadow Sun was mentioned, and
a
bunch of people tagged me. And as soon as the tagging started, I looked at the video.
Did the video strike you odd though? For some reason, I mean, did it feel like certain segments were like you know how you hold the camera too long on something? It just struck me odd for some reason. Like it was like a little bit off in a way.
Well,
not that it was like nefarious, right? Just oddly produced.
So sure. I'm critical of my own video. I go back over and go, I could have improved this or done this. I do a good bit of video scripting and development for my work stuff, and we go through like iteration after iteration after iteration of tightening things up and making it better and all that stuff. So I have a very kind of discerning thing. Like this is 3 seconds. It should be 2 seconds. You know, like that kind of like real tight. You know, because if we're putting development and it's money and assets, like this should be shorter. This should be shorter. This should be shorter. Yeah. So that's probably the case. You know, I could apply that to my own work just as easily. I'm not being critical of anybody.
Yeah.
I think our hobby as a whole has a lot of people doing a particular thing that they're not an expert at that particular thing. Like I do a ton of marketing stuff. I'm not a marketing person, so my marketing is much less effective than if I was erudite DM who is in marketing for his job. You know what I'm saying? Like that kind of thing.
Right.
Like, yeah.
Right. And I'm just comparing.
That's a big problem across the whole hobby.
Sure. But his videos, and I'm only comparing this video to his other videos that he's normally always very tight, that his videos seem to be very tight, whereas this one just seemed to linger. I'm like, okay, that's
he didn't develop it personally. Maybe
he had a different. Maybe his regular. I think he has a team. Maybe his editor. Maybe he had to edit it himself this time.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know, Summers.
I think it's good that there's more people in the Shadow Dark space, so I'm supportive of that. Yeah.
Do you want to make predictions on how much his Kickstarter will go for?
Did he say how much it's going to be priced at?
I don't think he did. I don't think.
Yeah, you can't make those predictions without knowing the pricing.
Because like
I'm looking at the transcript.
I could move a lot of units, Flint, on my Kickstarter, but the price point's only $20.
Right.
And if somebody moves the same amount of units with a $50 hardcover or something, that's going to be a big difference. I'm going to be not really watching the dollars on mine as much as the backer number.
Right.
Because if I have, you know, a very high number of backers, even at $20, then that gives me confidence for doing the next thing at 30 or 40 bucks. You know, that's what I'm tracking. The numbers are very deceiving also in a lot of times we're looking at differences between, because we just naturally compare it to other numbers that we know. If you have a team of 20,
Wait a minute. Apparently, it's not an RPG. It's a grim, dark setting for Shadow Dark.
yeah, I knew that. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you have a team of 20 people, like, I mean, there's a lot of people working on his thing. There's Steven Glicker is his name, right?
Yeah.
It's got all the stuff. There's a lot of people in that. Whereas if you had another thing that was made by 2 or 3 people, then their like individual revenue would be much higher. It's like, it's very hard to compare numbers between Kickstarters, because really the number I care about is how much is some individual person actually clearing at the end of the day, because that's what makes the decision of whether that person stays in the hobby for a long period of time, is more successful, can use that money to finance future projects, stuff like that.
Well, I'm just wondering, just from his, I mean, it seems like a what do I want to say? It just seems like it's like Voltron coming together. It just feels like you have Roll for Combat, you have Professor DM, and you have Shadow Dark. You have, they have a pretty tight group there, which would tell me that the marketing effort is going to be pretty good, attention wise.
You want me to answer this?
Yeah, go ahead. Yes.
So I don't know that I'm like some super genius on this or anything. Like, it's just what seemed natural to me is I've spent over a year now developing networking, friendships, talking to people, building interest in my stuff. And so now that I'm going into, promoting for a Kickstarter, I have a whole bunch of people that do YouTube that I can talk to. I've had people that maybe I didn't have a personal relationship with, but we knew who each other was on Twitter or something. I share their stuff occasionally. They share my stuff occasionally. We don't really have a sit down and talk, whatever. And then I reached out to a bunch of those people. I've got, let me see here, not counting what we're on right now, but counting Second Watch in about an hour. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things on my schedule out to August 5th. And then I've got a bunch of people that I'm going to start talking to in the next few days for stuff that's further out past August 5th. I didn't want to try to hit everybody all at once right here, and then have it peter out. So I'm trying to space that out, talking to people, figure out things that I could get on with somebody later in the Kickstarter cycle and be like, well, what are we going to talk about? And come up with interesting topics about the game that's not just going to be a rehash of what I talk about on Talking Crit with Mike and Eric, or talk about tonight on Second Watch. Trying to make it so there's a reason for people to watch more than one video, stuff like that. Those are the kind of things that I think are effective. And it goes back to what I was saying earlier about what WotC sucks at, is making interesting posts and talking to people like they're humans. I make marketing posts on Twitter. I share memes on Twitter. I respond to people's questions about how do you do this at your table, and I reshare people's stuff and try to get it a wider distribution of what they're saying, and I add my comments on whatever they're saying and things like that. Those are just natural ways of building up your social network. That's exactly what I'm criticizing WotC for being shitty at. And if I can do it as one dude, as a multinational corporation, you should be able to figure this shit out. But yeah, my strategy is, I've said before, I've said on multiple streams, like one of my strategies is saying thank you when people say something on it. Like going around and being grateful, being friendly. If somebody makes a post, just past couple of days, I can't remember if it was today or yesterday, a guy made a post about Terra Invictus in the Shadow Dark Facebook group, I was the first person who commented with what I thought the answer to the question would be. And the second person to comment was the guy who's doing a solo play of Terra Invictus on YouTube, Brad Uderstrom. And so both of us are tagging in, answering these questions. People can see that we're involved and we care. But if you make a post and use the term Wizards of the Coast, you'll be waiting until the end of your life for anybody to respond to that post.
It's true.
Yeah, I regularly check searches for game names and terms and Chubby Funster and stuff. So if there's a post on Reddit that I didn't see somebody made or whatever, even I don't regularly check Reddit. I have a Reddit account, but I'll find it and then I can respond to that somewhere. I don't want people talking about it and there's no response from me ever anywhere. And those are just basic marketing things that I think are important. Everybody talks about how Kelsey's attitude contributes to things. I try to move towards that. I'm much more of a porcupine personality than Kelsey is, right? I say angry rants sometimes, but
no.
Yeah, I generally try to be nice. I don't wade into controversies and start poking people in the face. I just, say my piece or walk off or do whatever. But there's guys in the hobby that they grind out 30 posts on a particular controversy and kill everybody who disagrees with them as a fan. That is bad business.
Yep.
I'll even talk to Paul about going on his show, even though he's, look at this guy.
I wouldn't go on my show. I and yet I have to be on my show because it's my show.
That's right.
Pretty much agree with all you said, Greg. I do that on a regular basis. I'll find some every week or two. I'll do a search, and somebody has a question about something of mine, or I still try to be helpful as much as I can with the Waterland stuff, and it all pays dividends later.
Yeah, people appreciate you just being nice to them. It's weird, huh?
Yeah.
Weird.
Be nice, be authentic. I mean, sometimes I guess those two don't necessarily match up, but
you know who's crushing it that way too? Anybody ever watch Star Wars Theory?
No.
He's very good, and he's upped his game in terms of video. He's got a videographer that follows him around. He goes to cons, and he sells lightsabers, like they're super quality lightsabers. And the people that come up to his table and just want to thank him for making videos the way he makes videos. I'm talking about people coming up and saying, "Hey man, you really got me through my depression," or "Hey, you really got," and that dude's got it figured. That dude's got it figured out. That dude's got it on lock for him, because the way he treats the people that come up to his table and the people that buy his stuff, and dude is just super nice. Like, people love him just because he's authentic.
Well, not too shabby. Well, I probably got a little more doggy duty. Hopefully not duty, but I probably got more doggy stuff I got to wind up doing. It is Friday night, so thank you, gentlemen, for hanging out. Greg, you got another live stream tonight?
Yeah, in an hour and 5 minutes.
Wow. And look at that. We were on for nearly 2 hours. Nobody had to do a potty break. Oh, that's right. Joe wasn't here.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nobody climbed up a ladder either.
Yeah. Folks, tomorrow night will be the return of Gamers Health. We were off 1 week because of the party, and we were off last week because of the tragedy. So we will be back tomorrow, Rach and I. So other than that, thank you for the support. What is this QR code over here? If you want to join and support the channel, it's a great.
Well, wait a minute. Can you share that Humble Bundle link to Corel Draw?
God,
you need me to post it in here?
Yeah, wait. Hold on, wait. I got it. Oh, but it's way too freaking long here. Hold on.
So you guys like my map? I draw with Corel Draw. Corral, for whatever reason, for the next 20 days, is having the 2024 version for $70 on Humble Bumble.
Yeah, hold on a second. I'm trying. I'm going to try to get a shortened link up here. Hold on a second.
Gotta get that affiliate dollar.
While you do that, Death Angels brought up Joe being off grid. Joe's been doing his own channel and grinding out some stuff, right?
Allegedly.
He hasn't been on here very much. He said he was going to start playing games in order to jumpstart his creativity.
Right.
Right, like he wanted to play them in a local gaming shop, which seems risky to me, but we'll see.
You know what? I mean,
it's hard to do play tests in a local gaming shop. You know,
I disagree.
I wouldn't do it, but all right. Local game shops, you're obligated to the game shop, so it doesn't make it the easiest place.
I think if you want the common man's input, I think you got to go to the game shops. I think that's.
I guess.
I think that's where you go, because if somebody's going to poke a hole in something, they're going to poke a hole in it.
True. Here, I'm going to put up a quick share screen here. This is the Corel graphics. It's Corel Draw Graphics Suite 2024. And that includes Corel Draw, Corel Font Manager, Capture, and Corel Photo Paint.
Yep.
Font Manager? Yes.
I know. It's very exciting.
$70 for these 5 items. I'm sure I'll be putting a blog post up for that over the coming days. But yeah, actually, it's a good deal. I'm sure it's something that I will never be competent enough to use. Not in my wheelhouse, but if it's in your wheelhouse, it's certainly a good pick. So thank you, Rob.
I mean, it's a lot easier to learn than the Illustrator, that's for sure.
That may be true. I don't know. Yeah.
All right, folks. On that note, be safe, be well. God bless. Roll those dice. Roll them well. Back again tomorrow at 8 o'clock with Gamers Health. Oh, and Sunday, I'm appearing I'm going to be on a Fantasy Grounds Academy in the afternoon doing a Q&A seminar type of deal.
Fantasy Grounds?
Yeah. Fantasy Grounds Academy, I believe it is.
Okay, that kind of blows my mind, Eric. What are you...
I'm not going to be talking about Fantasy Grounds itself. Don't worry about it. But I was invited. Who am I to say no? And later on Sunday, Inappropriate Characters Rerolled should be on at 7 p.m. on Rumble. So hopefully you'll see me and my co-host